Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've been searching for that perfect entry-level stepping stone into a massive government-backed enterprise, well, you hit the jackpot today. We are breaking down the ultimate playbook on exactly how to secure one of the 270 highly coveted positions at POWERGRID Corporation of India Limited. This is a massive Maratna prize under the Ministry of Power, and we're laying out the exact strategy for their 2026 apprenticeship drive. Let's get right into it. 270. That is the sheer scale of the opportunity we're looking at here. POWERGRID isn't just hiring a handful of folks. They have 270 total training slots open right now. And what's really cool is they aren't all clustered in one spot. These vacancies are spread out across 10 different regional establishments, all over India, literally from Jammu to Bengaluru and Shillong to Vadodara. But, just knowing these slots exist, that's only half the battle. The real million-dollar question is, how exactly can you secure one of these 270 slots for yourself? It's highly competitive out there, so you need way more than just a job notification. You need a rock-solid, actionable strategy. And that is exactly what this explainer is for. Here is our roadmap. First, we'll break down those 270 POWERGRID positions. Then, we'll check your eligibility, dive into the stipends and leave perks, walk through the selection process, and finally, outline the exact steps to apply online. All right, part 1, the 270 POWERGRID positions. Let's see exactly what's on the table here. So, looking at how these 270 posts are sliced up by educational trade, it's definitely not an even split. If you hold a diploma in electrical engineering, this is absolutely your moment. You guys have the biggest piece of the pie by far, with 122 slots dedicated just to you. ITI electricians are up next with 64 slots. We've also got solid numbers for Diploma Civil at 35, Graduate Electrical at 34, and Graduate Civil rounding it out with 15 slots. Knowing your specific trades availability is step 1 in gauging your odds. Moving right along to part 2, checking your eligibility. Before you even start digging out your paperwork, you've got to understand the strict timeline POWERGRID is operating on. They have a very rigid 2-year graduation window. Basically, you must have passed your final exams between September 11th, 2024 and the application deadline, which is September 10th, 2026. This timeline ties directly into a really tight application window, opening August 25th, 2026 and closing hard on September 10th. Time is literally of the essence here. So, who actually gets to step into the arena? Let's break down the divide. To be eligible, you've got to be over 18, your degree, diploma, or ITI must be a full-time regular course, and, this is crucial, you must already have your final results in hand. On the flip side, you're instantly disqualified if you're doing a part-time or distance learning course, or if you're still waiting on those final grades. And listen to this part carefully. If you have more than 1 year of work experience, or you've done another apprenticeship already, you're out. This is strictly an entry-level launchpad. Okay, part 3, stipends and leave perks. You're putting in a year of hard work, so let's talk about the reward. The monthly stipends are actually uniform across all 10 regions. ITI candidates are looking at 13,500 rupees a month. Diploma holders get 15,000 and graduates step up to 17,500 rupees. Now here's the kicker on how you actually get paid. For diploma and graduate apprentices, a chunk of this money is transferred directly to you by the Government of India through their NATS scheme. What that means for you is that having an active Aadhaar-seeded bank account enabled for direct benefit transfers is absolutely mandatory. No account, no cash. But the financial support doesn't actually stop there. If POWERGRID can't set you up with company accommodation, or hey, if you just choose not to use it, they'll toss in an extra 2,500 rupees a month as a housing allowance. Plus, they offer a pretty solid work-life balance setup. You get 12 casual leaves and 15 medical leaves over the course of the year. For a 1-year training program, that's a really strong safety net. Moving to part 4, the selection process. Let's see how they actually make their picks. You know the positions, you know you're eligible, so how do they choose? It all comes down to merit-based screening. And guys, this is a massive rarity in the government sector. There are no written exams. 0. No interviews either. POWERGRID evaluates you purely based on the percentage of marks you scored in your final degree or diploma. Your past academic performance is literally the only currency that matters here. Also, quick pro tip, if your mark sheet doesn't explicitly state your final percentage, you have got to provide a percentage conversion letter from your university. Don't let technicality trip you up. Because they are hiring purely off those marks, the next stage is incredibly tight. They use a strict 1-to-5 ratio. That means for every single open slot, they only invite the top 5 highest scoring candidates for document verification. So say you're gunning for one of the 16 ITI slots in Haryana. They are only calling 80 people in the entire state to prove their paperwork. The stakes are highly competitive, so getting your marks and your documents dialed in perfectly is your only ticket through. Which brings us to our final section, Part 5, Steps to Apply Online. This is the execution phase. There's a foolproof, mandatory 4-step flow you've got to nail. Step 1, and this is completely non-negotiable. You have to register on the government portals first. ITI folks head to the NAPS portal. Diploma and graduate candidates go to the NOTS portal. You need a 100% complete profile to get your unique enrollment number. Step 2, take that number straight to POWERGRID.in under their careers section. Step 3, carefully select your region. And Step 4, hit submit perfectly before that September 10th deadline. Before you hit submit, though, let's lock in the final rules of engagement. You must apply to one region or state only. Please do not try to game the system. If you send in multiple applications for different regions or trades, POWERGRID will just reject all of them and they won't even tell you. But to balance out that strictness, remember the fantastic news. No written exams, no interviews, and absolutely zero application fees. It costs you literally nothing to shoot your shot. Now, it is super important to keep our expectations grounded here. The official notification clearly states, completion of the apprenticeship does not entitle the apprentice to any claim for employment with POWERGRID. Look, this program is an incredible resume builder. It's an amazing chance to learn at a Maharatna enterprise and earn while you train for a whole year. But it is a stepping stone, not a permanent job guarantee. We've got to be totally transparent about that. So there you have it. We've broken down all 270 slots, the strict eligibility rules, the stipends, and that highly competitive 1 to 5 selection process. You now have the exact playbook on how to secure one of these positions. But remember, the clock is ticking loudly towards that final deadline. So the question I'm leaving you with today is this. Is your NASC or NAPS profile and all your documentation 100% complete so you can actually apply before September 10th? Opportunity heavily favors the prepared, so get your paperwork sorted, get online, and go claim your slot. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.